All right, we'll go ahead and start with our post-race interview with our race winner, Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Brown Toyota. This is Kyle's 24th win in 266 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races. First win of 2012. Fourth win, 13 top 10 finish in 15 races here at Richmond. And Kyle's now won 4 straight spring races here at Richmond, and that breaks a tie with Richard Petty, who did so from 1971 to 1973. So, Kyle, congratulations. Huge weekend for you, obviously, after yesterday. And not a bad way to start an early birthday week for you, too. So, happy early birthday. Talk about this, fantastic weekend and a great race tonight.
Yeah, thanks. It was an awesome weekend all around. You know, we unloaded here yesterday and had a decent car off the truck and was able to work on it and just kept making some changes to it, try to make it better for us. And, there through much of the race, we just kept ourselves in position and did what we needed to do to stay in the top 5 and had a good race car to do that with. And the guys on pit road gave me phenomenal stops to gain me ground every time, even when we were pulling spring rubbers. So can't say enough about those guys. And then, wherever that last caution came from, that was the saving grace, man, just the luck of the day, and put us in the right position there coming down pit road behind Tony, and the guys did a fast pit stop, got us to lead off pit road, which was a huge advantage, just being able to give me the control of the restart and not have to wait on Tony or cause myself to spin my tires or what have you and get behind. So really helped me out. And once I got out front, I knew I had 10 laps. I could abuse the heck out of that thing and drive it for all it was worth, and didn't have to save any tires. So just kind of goes to show what kind of speed we had in our 18 Camry, M&M's Camry there, final 10 laps.
Kyle's now 11th in the points as well, also joined by crew chief Dave Rogers. Dave, it was a very interesting race all the way through, some green flag runs, obviously, and then, late race excitement once again. Talk about how it came by from your perspective.
Yeah, just really excited to finally get a points victory this season. But hats off to Kyle. I think the key to the game today was Kyle kept us in it all race. He never got frustrated or discouraged. Kyle said the car is pretty good. I thought we were off a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, and Kyle just did a great job giving us feedback, giving us direction on what he needed to make the car better, and was patient with us and just drove a smart race. And then at the end there, the pit crew, they had a fantastic stop there and was able to beat the 14 car off pit road and give Kyle that final restart.
Also joined by team owner Joe Gibbs, and Coach Dave just talked about a little bit of patience, and there's been some patience as the team's gone through the season to get to this point, get that first win of the year. How's that feel?
Well, it feels great. First thing I asked Kyle, I said, okay, you can tell me now, is it more fun winning as a car owner or a driver? And he was honest. He says, as a driver. I said, see, I always get in the wrong end of everything. I never get to experience the super stuff. But
you won that little mini cup race against Norm, didn't you?
Yeah, I did that. But no, I think, I really didn't. I really felt like, with our team right now, I kind of look at us, the 18, our team here. We didn't change anything there. We had Dave coming back. I felt like Kyle, I really wasn't worried about a little bit of a slow start for us. You always get concerned when you don't jump out there and get a win, but I felt like that I had a lot of confidence in our team. And I think tonight was a good example. That was a total team effort. I think Dave did a great job. Obviously, our pit crew, that was awesome. Those guys are lightning quick. And then Kyle, I think, too, just as Dave said, stayed real patient, never worried about things. Even when the car was off a little bit, kept his poise, and things just turned out right for us in the end.
Thanks, Coach. If you have questions for the gentleman up front, please raise your hand. We've got wireless mics for you. If you'd give us your name and affiliation before you ask. In the back here.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. Kyle, if it wasn't for that last caution, do you think you had any chance of catching Tony?
Oh, no, I was losing half a tenth to a tenth every lap on what Tony was doing up there. He was just so fast, and I was just then at that point, I kept trying and staying with him there early in that run to get him to pressure himself into using up his tires a little bit, and I can see him doing some of that. But then my car just started getting a little bit too tight in the center and a little bit too loose off, where I started losing ground to him. And once I about couldn't see him anymore, I just figured, okay, I'm gonna save what I've got here and just try to make it to the end here and see if any of the guys catch me from behind, give me something that I have left that I can race them with if they get to my back bumper. So no catching Stewart without that caution.
Kyle, Madison Martin from Frostburg State University. You broke a record with Richard Petty tonight. How does that make you feel?
I didn't even know that we were tied for a record, but it's definitely pretty special to any time you're tied for a record with Richard Petty or you're able to break a record with that guy. He's just a class act and been in this sport forever, it feels like, and has done so many things and won so many races and championships and everything else. So he's one of the biggest icons of our sport. So for me to be up there in one of those, I guess you'd call it one of those situations that I was able to beat him on one of those records, that feels pretty good. Whether or not I'm ever able to beat any of his other records, that's to be seen. Hopefully I've got a long time to keep racing here.
Go to David Newton, please.
How'd it go, Bob?
Good segue. David Newton, ESPN.com. I was going to ask you, were you confused at all by what was going on out there with Carl's restart? And did you see the water bottle that brought out the caution?
Which caution? The last one? The restart and all what was going on, Tony was a lucky dog, but then they said no, he was ahead because he came off pit road already. So then that made us a lucky dog, and I'm like, man, that's a lucky break right there. That puts us right back in this thing. So then what was funny is we're the lucky dog, but then there's so many wave arounds and everything that happened, we restarted back in our same position because they all had to restart behind us. So I was like, all right, well, this is going really good. And then that was the point I think in the race where Stewart was just, I think it was lap 313 or something. Stewart was just driving away from me. I tried to get there to him, but every time I'd pass a lap car, he'd pass a lap car. There was always somebody in between us, and I was always just a little bit too far behind. So, and then I had no idea what caused the last caution. I didn't know what it was. So, just glad there was something somewhere.
Got questions upstairs in the press box?
Kyle, Brian Belansky from RacingWire.info. 4 consecutive wins here, and a couple of those wins you were the dominant car all night. This one you were not. What is it about spring in Richmond that brings out the best in you, especially at the end of the race?
I'm not sure. I've had that question already a couple times tonight, but it's just something that keeps going well for us, and it probably could have been this spring Richmond the year before that too. Unfortunately, last few laps I got into a little tangle with pretty popular race car driver. So, but besides that, I mean, this place has always been great to me. I've run well here in the Cup cars for a long time and won my first Nationwide Series race here. So, it's just, I guess, being the last week of April, first week of May, birthday week, it's always kind of fun too. Won here on my birthday a few years ago, and coming up on another birthday. So every time we come to Richmond in the spring, it's really good, but yet I feel really bad because I'm getting older.
Other question upstairs?
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette for Coach Gibbs, and for Kyle too, for that matter. But this is the first time ever that there have been some people who would claim that your team was not the best Toyota team, and competition is supposed to raise the level for everyone. And so do you think that the success of Michael Waltrip has led in some ways to this victory?
Well, I think, first of all, I want to say a big thanks to Toyota. Great partner for us. It's a thrill for us to be a part of their group. And I think we have a great relationship with Michael's group and with Michael Waltrip Racing and Rob and everybody over there. And hopefully, because we do, with our partnership and working through Toyota, we do share some things. But also, I think the great thing about our sport, what I love about this sport, you got to earn it. and you can't fake it. There's nothing you can do about it. You're either good or you're not good. You're going to be up front. You're not going to be up front. And I love the competitive part of it. And so I think having partners like that push you, I think it's great. And I applaud them, what they've been able to do over there. And I think they've stepped it up. And hopefully at some point, that's up to us to try and keep up with them.